money stay high. Go to YouTube for story time with Ray We say he's a great guy. Have a lot of fun telling you his life and blaze live. Stay high. I dare you tonight to what? To like, share, and subscribe.
What is good, Vibe Gang? It is your boy. Welcome to another story time with Ray. I am your boy, Ray, here with another story time. But before we get into that, we're at 531 subscribers right now on this page. Shout out to all of you. I appreciate the love. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I hope you guys enjoyed the This Vibe is a Trip video. Our trip up there to LJ, Georgia. So it was fun. It was a great trip. I appreciate everybody's love. And then, you know, the hurricane came, hit us again. So it was an emotional, it has been an emotional 2 weeks. I could say that. It has been an emotional 2-3 weeks. But everything is seeming to work itself out. So I'm thinking positive. I appreciate everybody's love. Now, as soon as we hit 1,000, you know what it is. We're going to have a little party here. Everyone's welcome. Let's work on that plaque. We're on the road to 100,000. Stop. That's too high. They said that I couldn't do it. Let's do it. Fuck it. I appreciate you. Now, tonight's story. It's not a story that I bring up a lot, or even a person that I talk about a lot, but it's my childhood best friend. His name, I'm just gonna say his first name. His name is Lewis. I met him. It was in Catholic school. I think it was 4th grade. It was either 4th or 5th grade. So I remember being in 4th grade and not having a lot of like people that I could say are my friends. I have people that I know, but I didn't really have a lot of good like people that are like, oh, you're gonna come over, we're gonna go hang out, we're gonna go do this after school. I didn't have any of that. So I was just doing me. I had my sisters went to the same school. So it was just like whenever I had an opportunity to be around my sisters, I was around my sisters. But he came into the class as a new student. I guess his mom and dad moved from, now they moved from freaking, I think it was Detroit, and they moved down to New York because his dad's job had an opening in New York and they wanted to leave out of Detroit. So that's how they got to be in our area. And they put him in our school. And it was the first day he came in. It was the first day of school for everybody. So he just started new, fresh with us. So I remember going to the desk and they assigned his desk next to me. And it was one of those moments that I was just like, yo, like, who the hell is this kid? Just another person that's gonna ignore me. Igor type shit. But it wasn't something that I was just like, that was just another person that it's whatever. So I was like whatever when he was there. And then the teacher always, everybody that's new that is not from the same class from last year, because we all went to the same classes, we all graduated or went to the next grade together in the same school. So it was like we were not going anywhere. We were there for 8 years pretty much. So I was getting there. I knew that coming to this grade, I think it was 5th, that I was like, oh, I'm almost close to getting out of here. I only have 3 more years to go to high school. So whatever. So I'm just sitting there and ignoring this kid completely. The teacher tells him, hey, can you please, you want to come up and you want to say your name, say where you're from, yada, 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 to the class so they could get to know you. So he stands up and he starts walking over there. And I was like, well, he has gusto. He has gusto. He got up and he trucked to his stud. I literally give Lewis not all the credit, but the majority of the credit for the humor that I have right now. The majority of that credit goes to him because for 8 years, this kid, when I tell you, he was the funniest kid that I've ever met in my life, and it rubbed off. So shout out to Lewis, man. But he got up there. I think he's like, my name is Louis Vega. I come from Detroit. I think it was like you have to say your name, where you're from, what's your favorite color, and like what was like I think a hobby or a toy that you like, or something that you liked, or some shit like that. So he goes out and he says this thing, and I think the last thing that he said was what he liked to do, and he says, "I like to get out of school and just go play video games." And then the whole school laughed, and I was just like, "Yo!" And I chuckled. I looked up and I went, "It sparked something. Something weird was happening." I went, "Huh? That was pretty funny." And then the teacher was laughing. I was just like, "Oh shit, that was cool." So she was like, "Thank you, Lewis," and like pushed him to his seat. So he went there because she wants all the attention. I don't think I forgot. I'm gonna say her name, but don't think I forgot. That's another story. Don't even start that shit. He got to the seat, and I looked at him. He sat down, and there wasn't any like embarrassment in him. There wasn't any like, I don't know. It was weird. He was like a superhero. Like he was like proud. Like he did something. Like it's like he just saves a damsel in distress. And then he's getting congratulated for that, and then he sits down. But he wasn't like most kids are all shy and, "Oh, stop." No, he was just like, "Yeah, I'm taking it. I'm taking it all in." And I was like, "That's cool." So I said, I'm going to make the first move. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say, "What's up?" So I looked at him. I'm like, "What's up, man? Ray." And I gave him a fist bump. And he was like, "Lewis." He dapped me back, and I was like, word. Going okay. It's going fine. It's like, cool. And then that's kind of what we said at that moment. And I stepped back down, and I was like, all right. It started off good. That's all I needed to know. I wanted to see what type of dude he really is when people ain't looking. So I introduced myself, see how much, what he's going to do. Because the last one I tried to do that with, he was like, "I don't care." And then he slapped my hand. He slapped my fist. What? I've never been so angry in my life. Anyway, man, that's another story. Comes in. Next period comes. We have to get up. We have to go to another classroom. The other classroom is Mr. Allen. So we all get up, and I'm walking. So how you supposed to leave is everybody get up, form a line. We all leave out of the classroom at the same time, and we hug the wall until we get to the next classroom, and then we go in one by one. That's how they used to transfer us, like cattle, like a bunch of fucking sheep. Anyway, we get to Miss. So he's lined up behind me because his chair is next to me. So every time we get in line, he's always going to be next to me everywhere we go. In lunch, in gym, in the locker rooms, in the field trips, it doesn't matter. They all go by the seating of the classroom. So, because they have to form a line as you're seated. So we go out, boom, boom, boom. We get there. He's behind me. I'm in front of him. And he comes like over my shoulder. He's like, I hope this teacher's not a dick. And I looked back at him. I went like that. I went, "Prepare yourself." He chuckled. And I went, we made a friend, ladies and gentlemen. We made a friend. I was always a loner. looking at people doing shit. I think I just made a friend. I made him chuckle. Good and gravy, baby. We get to Mr. Allen's class. Mr. Ray, what are you doing? And I'm like, man, out my face, bro. I sit on my chair. My chair is usually like in the middle, kind of. Not in the front, but like I'm in the second line, probably the third line, next to the window. He's sitting right next to me. And Mr. Allen's classroom is like a larger classroom. So there's more windows, so there's more light. So it kind of feels like a crazy auditorium type of situation. So it is weird. But we sat there and he's just like, he gets up. Like he stands up. Brings down the shade in the window because the light is hitting his desk. And I said, oh shit. Mr. Allen comes out. Who did that? And then he's kind of looking at me like, did I just mess up? Nobody plays with their shades. Who did that? And then I see that Lewis is kind of like, oh shit, I don't want to raise my hand. So I said, I did it, Mr. Allen. The light was hot bothering me. I couldn't see the textbook because the textbook's glossy. So when you have a glossy textbook with colorful pictures in it, the sun's going to hit it. I can't see. My eyes hurt. Get up now. I got up. And then he kind of looked at me crazy. And I was just like, well, F you too then, man. Like, I was trying to save your ass. Look like you about to cry, nigga. I was trying to help you out. But I thought it was like a problem because he kind of just didn't stop staring at me. And I was like, all right. I went to the principal's office. She sits me down. She was like, why are you not listening to the orders of your teacher when the teacher tells you not to put? I was like, I'm sorry. I was trying to read the chapter in this history Spanish book that we were reading, and the pictures are glossy. And because they're glossy, the sun in the back in the window was hitting the book, and I couldn't see. So I couldn't really see what he was talking about. She was like, was that all? And he kind of looked at her, he said, yes. And she was just like, take it back to the classroom. If it happens again, bring him back. So we went back to the classroom, sat back down, and I'm just sitting there and continue his reading. And the shade was magically back up. I wonder who the fuck did that. And I'm sitting there. And we're finishing the work. We get back up. The period's over. We go back to the classroom to our main teacher. Because we have a main teacher that teaches us the majority of the curricular. But we have special classes that we take with other teachers for like Spanish and carpentry and stuff like that. So it's one main teacher. So we get back to her class. I sit there and he was like, why did you say it was? He kind of looked at me. He's like, yo. And I said, and I looked back, I looked sideways and I was like, what happened? And he was like, why did you tell him it was you? I was like, because, bro. Like, he's abused me for 5 years already. It ain't fair to you to fucking take that type of bullshit first fucking day. Nah, man, that's crazy. I ain't gonna let you do that, man. I told you. This guy's nuts. He was like, man, I'm gonna stick by you. Right there. Bells started hitting my head. Bling, bling, bling. An alarm started going off. And I said, did we just become best friends? I didn't say that. But that's the feeling. That saying in that movie depicts the feeling at that moment. I was just like, oh shit. Let's do it. Next couple days come by, everything cool. He's like one of the funniest dudes at this moment. I'm talking about, forget about what comedian you think was funny. My man Louis V was the shit. Teacher comes out, we sit in classroom in our main hall, and teacher comes out, she's like, get your textbooks out. Because I think we were doing like a science type of thing. It was Mr. Cruz. I love that dude, man. He was doing like a science project type of deal. He wanted to do like a science project, so he came down to talk to us about how, which teams are we going to go to, what are we going to do, how are we going to set it up, and like the winnings of whoever has the best thing wins this, and yada yada yada. They had like 3 things. They had, you pretty much win the whole jackpot, which I think the jackpot, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 2 new backpacks, because it was a team of no, it was a team of 3, but it was like 2 new backpacks. It was like pencil cases of your choice. It was like Scholastic type shit that you would win. But you also win a $50 gift card to, or not a $50 gift card, but a $50 type of voucher for this pizza spot that was right by the school. That I could go in there and I could say, let me get like 3 pies and 2 2-liters, and it's on them. That's what you win. So when I heard that, I said, pizza's my favorite meal. We're about to blow this shit out the fucking water. So usually how they pick teams is the same way how they pick everything. You pick teams by how your seating arrangements are. He was next to me, so automatic I had an option. Either they were going to team me up with him, depending how they start, or they're going to team me up with this crazy bitch named Stephanie. She is a nutbag. When I tell you, I don't know what happened to her now, but when I tell you, she's the type of, I saw her eat an eraser. That's not her real name, but I saw her eat an eraser. An eraser? No. So I was worried. She did have a pretty smile though. She did. She wasn't ugly. She was pretty. I was like, but she eats erasers though. What does that tell you how you are as a person? I was scared, worried. She has no limits. What else will she eat? My toes? Earlobe or 2? A nostril? So they were sitting there and they started going down on the teams. And they were like, we're going to pick team of 3. We're going to pick that. We're going to pick these 3 here. And then I started to see the formation. I was like, all right, so it's going to be him, Lewis, me. If the way he was doing it was right. So I was counting with the teacher and making sure he ain't fucking up. Because I did not want to be the team with her and some other guy that was there. I don't really know him that much, but he was there. So I was just like, man, this is the cool team. This is the team that I really don't want to be in. Came back around, boom. Then he said, you, Lewis, Ray. When he said that, I looked at her and I went, ha. I was very proud of myself. I was like, I spoke it to the world brought it back. Whatever you speaketh, thou shalt receiveth. So we the team. So the school project was, we have to make anything from a list. Make a light bulb turn on with a potato, a volcano display, and I think the other one was a compass. They're like a working active compass that they wanted us to do. And there were like specific specs that they gave them, that team that picked that. They'll give them specific little bundles to make that specific compass and shit like that. So it was a whole bunch of different type of events that you could have picked. And whoever picked it, that's what they are. They have to write it up as the team. And then you have to name the team, write it down, write what is it that you're going to do, either it's the volcano thing, the potato thing, whatever. And put it into the voucher. The voucher, you go in there, and then it goes to the teacher, and then the teacher puts it accordingly. All right, so we go through all of it. So our team was Team Supreme. That was a fire name back in like 1990 something. Team Supreme. We were the best. We were the best. Lewis comes in, and we have every day from that point on, from when they started giving all the rules out and everything, from that point on, it was, you got 1 hour a day of school to work. If we wanted to work outside of school, we could have met up in the library. We could have met up in each other's homes to work on the project. So we decided, yo, let's just meet up after school in the library and let's just work on it there. And it gives, us time to just chill and shit like that. Because the library was literally 2 blocks away from our school. So we were like, hell yeah, let's do it like that. All right, so not only did we get an hour to work with it in school, but we also were working with it outside of school because we didn't want to fuck it up. We picked the potato, the light with the potato. That's what we picked. So we got all the stuff that we needed. I grabbed the potato from my mom's potato basket. I grabbed the cables from my dad, from not my dad's, but my landlord's like tool shed thing room that he has. It's got a whole bunch of wire and shit in there. I grabbed some wires from there. Señor, I took it. I didn't steal it. I told him. And then put it in my backpack. After school, we're going to go over there. We're going to go do that in the library. We went to the library. Get over there. Boom. We get a desk. We said this is going to be our desk. This is going to be the desk that we're going to work on all our projects and just chill at. Bet. Came out. Got there. I opened my backpack, started dumping everything out, and then we started working on it. Started putting it together off of the instructions that they gave us. So we had to put this, and we were like wiring everything right, and the bitch is not turning on. We're there in the library for like about a good 45 minutes trying to figure out why the fucking light's not coming on. And like my mom is about to come pick me up in 10 minutes with my dad's car. Well, my dad's picking me up with my mom because we have to go do some shit. So they know that I'm going to be here. And like, we can't leave if we don't make this work. And then we were like, well, they were telling me, let's go and let's work on it the next day. So I remember being very like, no, we need to make this work. Like that was my first time that I felt anxious about something that had to do with school, I guess. But it was just like very anxious I felt. Like we need to make this work. Like we did all this shit. We were here for this, trying to get this shit to work. It's supposed to be this simple, but it doesn't work. We go in there, put everything back in the backpack, start the next day. We get to school the next day. We get the hour that we get. We're sitting there and I was like, well, something's not making it work. Obviously. Because according to the instructions, that's what it is. So we're looking at the wiring and it was like this cable goes here and then that cable goes there. Where what we found was one of the wires that was supposed to go to the actual connection to the bulb. One of the wires was like rusted as fuck. And it was not even holding that wire. And the wire is like full of rust and shit. So I was like, how the fuck did that happen? So I threw that wire away. And I guess the wires that I grabbed were all shitty because they were used. And I guess that's what it was. Because we went to the hardware store next to my house, got some wire, got some clamps, got all that other stuff. And I put it on my dad's tab. I dead ass told that motherfucker, I was like, mi papa said he's gonna come and pay you on Friday. I think it's like $7 or some shit like that. And I was like, I'm gonna pay it on. I pay it because my parents give me money every like week. They'll give me like about $5 if I do something right. So I was like, I'll just give that when my dad gives me the money. Anyway, I go and we get new shit. We get new wire. We even get the new bulb holder. What screws onto the bulb? We got that brand new. And everything. So I was like, all right, with new shit, it has to work. We go and put it in. Ba, 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 ba. As soon as we fucking hit the trigger, light comes on. And I was like, we're geniuses. I thought we created something new, bro. I was very proud of myself. Lewis was very happy. Edgar was very fucking happy. We had a good time putting this work together with it. And then I was like, yo, I formed 2 friends out of this. So this is kind of fucking cool because we spent a lot of time like just trying to make shit work, usually trying to be as cheap as possible because we were like, let's see how much money we don't have to use to do it. We had to break down and buy new shit. And that's what it was. We were trying to use old shit. I thought the potato was not good. I thought the potato was like, it was too much on the ground for too long. It doesn't have the right static electricity to form an electrical component to turn on the bulb. We were coming up with all these conclusions. We spent a lot of fucking time. And when I tell you a lot, I'm talking about like a week and a half. Because the competition and everything was like that week. So we spent a good week and a half trying to do this shit with the old crap that I got from my landlord. And it wasn't fucking working. And it was for a reason why it wasn't working. And plus we also found out after a while that the actual board that we were getting put on, we were like screwing it to hold it and fuck around and went through the wire. So that was like shorted, so we had to replace the wire too. It was a lot of shit, man. We were fucking up a lot left and right. And then we were sitting there, we were like, if we would have just started off with the $7, this project would have taken literally about 10 to 15 minutes to do. We literally sat down and had the biggest laugh. But we were trying to be cheap, and we were trying to not spend as much money that everybody else is gonna spend to do their fucking project. I was like, we should have gotten the fucking potato, the volcano one, but I was outvoted because them two wanted to do the potato. But that's what it was. That was a fun time. It's like so many jokes. This kid, the whole time we were doing this, he was like, yo, imagine if I take this potato and I just throw it at the teacher real quick and blame it on somebody else. What you think would happen to that person? And I was like, what would you think would happen to you? You can't throw a potato in the fucking in this classroom and no one's gonna see this coming from somebody else but you, bro. It was just the most craziest fucking time. So we went to the science fair. We did the shit. We put our things up there. Everybody looked at it. Oh, they turned it on. Oh, it works. And all this other crazy shit. And it kind of felt it didn't feel important anymore after that. Like right in the process of when the judges was looking at it and seeing if it worked and all that, it really wasn't important. It was like everybody was just like, they're judging. You want to see what's more flashy. If you want to see what was more flashy, who wants to do what's more flashy, then I would have picked the fucking volcano bullshit. Because it takes more time making the actual volcano than making it work. Making work is dropping two things inside the volcano. You spend more time making the motherfucker. That was my argument to Lewis and Edgar. That was my argument 100%. I was like, yo, I knew we should have gone with it because turning on a light bulb with a potato, how many kids picked that shit? 5, 6 of them picked it. One person picked the volcano, and then one person picked the compass bullshit. And the volcano won. I was like, if we would have made a better volcano that would have erupted more, we would have won that. But nobody want to listen to me. That's fine. Edgar and Lewis could go kiss the backside of my ass. I told them that we could have won it if we would have done the volcano. They want to come and tell me, no, this is bullshit. Nah, we have to do the potato. It's more scientific-y. A volcano's not scientific-y. Nigga, it's science that makes it erupt. What are you talking about? Nobody wants to listen to me. I want to do the volcano, bro. But they brought up good points, too. They brought up good points because they said, what house we going to work it on? We can't work it on my house because I got 3 sisters, a mother and a father, and a 2-bedroom apartment. We don't have room for me, let alone have room for a big-ass volcano. We don't have no room to put it. And that was the same issue with everybody else. So that was the argument that won it, saying we have no place to work with it, like keep it in one spot and actually do it. So it's whatever. We lost, but it wasn't my fault. It was Lewis's fault. He knew he wanted to do the volcano too. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. But anyway, we lost, whatever, and then we keep on moving on to, I think right after the science for that year, I think we had like not a dance, but it's like a Thanksgiving type of get together. Because, the school's about to close. So the science fair was like in October-ish, we had the science fair thing. We don't celebrate Halloween because it's a Catholic church, so we didn't do anything for Halloween. So Thanksgiving was the next one, I believe. And the Thanksgiving soiree that my school had, we had to come very dapper. You know, no uniform. You don't have to wear your tie and your white shirt with the gray pants and the church shoes. You don't have to wear that. You could come with a different suit, a blazer, looking, you know, dapper-dillish. And you know, there's gonna be some punch. Gonna have some cherry punch. That's my favorite. Because there's a little old lady named Consuela in the kitchen that she's the one that makes that shit. And it's the most delicious thing that I've ever seen in my fucking life. It's a cherry punch. Man, this is not no bottle of Hawaiian punch and dumped into the motherfucker. This is handmade. Delicious punch. Then we're gonna have pizza, you know, little things of chips, little with bowls of chips all around, candy spread it out, and everything. Just one big ass table with a whole bunch of junk food to a whole bunch of fucking kids. That's smart. What do you think was gonna happen? We're gonna wild the fuck out on sugar. So we went to the soiree. Me and my man said, yo, we should dress in a black tux. I wanted to dress black tux, red inside shirt, black tie. That's how I wanted to rock it. And he was like, well, what if I wear a red suit with a black shirt and a red tie? So I was like, it's kind of like we going out and it's kind of crazy. Then you want to match our suits together. This is what I'm wearing. You wear what you feel you need to wear. He's like, no, so we could come as a group. Edward's down to do it. This guy's down to do it. And I was just like, we're not gonna be looking like a whole bunch of fucking cops. I want to wear the red shirt. I want to style out, bro. He's like, all right, cool. We're gonna dress like this. I was like, you guys have fun with that. Needless to say, it was very hard to find. I remember it being very hard to find a red shirt my size for a suit. Because we didn't find it. I had to wear the white shirt. I had to wear the white shirt with the black tux. And I was like, I came to the dance looking like everybody fucking else. And he was like, I thought you were not gonna do it. I was like, I thought you wanted to do vice versa shit. I thought you wanted to dress like me dress like. He's like, yeah, that was the second plan. He's like, the first plan is undressed like all alike. And I was like, I didn't want to come like this, bro. But I knew there, because it was all fun and games. I knew there that he's not gonna take my bullshit. I'm not gonna take his bullshit. And if we have to go at it in front of everybody, we're gonna go at it, and then it's gonna be love after. So this was going on. That relationship between me and him has gone on throughout the years. We were in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th, 7th, by 8th grade, when we were there already, and we were already like about to leave the school, they gave us a little bit more leniency than the other kids in the classrooms and everything, because it was our last year. We're over here literally working on signing to which high school we want to go to, and putting it in so like that we could sign and apply to go to that school and see what happens due to our test scores or whatever. There's some schools that will approve you. There's some schools that won't approve you. So I was writing down the school, that my sisters were going to, the high school my sisters were going to, because they seemed to like it very much. It was a public school, but it was, in a good area, and they had like one of the best teachers at that time, supposedly, in that school. So I was like, I want to go to that school. If not, I was going to go, it was called Harry Van Arsdale High School. And then I said, if it wasn't Harry Van Arsdale High School, it was going to be John Jay. And if it wasn't John Jay, it was there was another one in Manhattan that was there. So I signed for 3 schools. And Lewis asked, what school are you going to? And I was like, well, I'm going to go to, my main school is Harry Van Arsdale. That's where I wanted to go. And then John Jay and everything John Jay was the second, and then the other school's the third. He was like, all right, well, I'm going to put Harry Van Arsdale as my first 2. And I was like, all right, bet, cool. So he put that one in there, and we were planning on going to the same high school together. So I was excited. I was like, yo, my best friend's going to come with me to high school. Then we're going to have 4 years of wilding out and going crazy and shit like that. And at that time, I was already, was able to do a lot more than when we were younger, because I was getting a little bit more freedom from the parents. So I went and did shit. And then, in high school time, that's when I made a very wrong right and decided to do a bunch of other crazy shit that is not warm-hearted like these stories that I'm telling you. I'm trying to stay as far away as for those stories as possible because those get. I could try to make them funny, but if you see this, if you hear what actually happened, it's kind of crazy. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So I'm excited because now, okay, we have a plan now. Me and him gonna go to high school. Me and him, it's almost like we grounded each other, like we balance each other out. Because throughout the whole entire rest of the year, I knew I had one friend. No matter what the hell was going on with me through Catholic school, I knew I had a guy that had my back. I already knew that was my dog, and he was gonna have my back in high school too. I think the end of the year, 8th grade, end of the year, was where they came and they told us. I think they gave us an envelope or they send the application back to our school, and then our teachers were giving it out to us to see what school was it that we were accepted in. And then when I looked at mine, it said I was accepted to Harry Van Arsdale. So I was like, fuck yes. I'm going to that school. That's fucking amazing. He opened his, and his said that he was going to I think it was some school that was like even further than where he lived. I don't know where it was exactly, but I knew it was an issue because it was the distance issue. It was so far away from where he lived to go to school that it was like they were not even going off a district. They were just going off if you were qualified to get into the school. And it was crazy, and he had to go to that school. So the whole rest of the year, we're just like, yo, what are we going to do? You're like, well, you know what? We don't live far from each other. We live in the same neighborhood. It's not like we're not going to see each other. It's just that we're not going to be in school with each other. So I was like, I thought in my head, yo, dude, we're going to be living next to each other either way. So we're cool. So he was like, no, yeah, you're right. And then we left it alone. We didn't even think about it again. The whole summer was a blast. Me and him went everywhere. Me and him, what I talk about every time my family went to the beach, him and at least his mother came with. And we all went as a group. When I'm going to the park, I'm going to the park. He sees me. We walk together. We go to the park playing handball. It was the best summer. The best summer. We got into some shit. We did. Me and Lewis was going to his Italian event that they had in Greenpoint back in the day. I don't know if they still have it now, but back in the day they had events down in Greenpoint, showing love to Italian Day. It's Italian Day. That's what it's called. They got a whole bunch of food carts outside. Sausage cooking. They got Italian music playing. They got Italian games. They got scratch offs or peel offs to see if you want any money. They got they got anything that you could get in the carnival. That's what you could get there. But they have more Italian food out than anything else. Great fucking place to go. Me and him went one summer night. We start walking because we could walk. It's in walking distance. It's right by the high school, Harry Van Arsdale. So we could start walking. We get over there, and around this time, it was kind of where people were experimenting, or people our ages were experimenting with a lot of shit. So we go over there, and my man takes a fucking shot. Like his boy, I guess he knows this dude or something, and he goes and he tells me, "Yo, you want a shot?" And he's like, "Hell yeah!" He goes and takes a fucking shot. So then Lewis is over here getting shit faced. So I'm just like, yo, I'm getting kind of uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't know these dudes. Like if I knew them, it would be a different story. But I didn't know anybody there. It kind of looked like Lewis did. So I was like, that's his people, whatever. But we're walking around and Lewis I see that he's like stumbling and fucking getting on top. So I'm like, yo, let's just book it. Let's just go home, bro. There ain't nothing to do out here. This is just boring. He's like, yeah, let's go. We start walking out the park. As soon as we start walking out the park, there's a dude that came next to him and he started talking to Lewis. And I was like, yo, I'm going to go to the store real quick. I'm just going to go get a water. And he was like, all right, cool. I'm going to be right here. I come back from the store and I see this dude wailing on Lewis. Like I'm talking about so I run across the street And when I run across the street, I get tackled. I get thrown to the floor. And now I'm on my fucking side. And there's a dude like hitting me. So I'm crawled up like this. I didn't even see this dude come. And I'm holding my head and he's just kicking me. And I'm over here like fucking in pain. I turn around and when he came back up, I fucking like just, without even look, I didn't even know that his face was there. But without looking, I just start swinging like a fucking madman. I just start swinging both arms. And if I make contact with something, I hit whatever the fuck I make contact with. So I guess I hit this dude and he fell off of me. Soon as I hit something, I feel this pressure off of me. I get up and this guy is still like on Lewis and kicking him. And all I remember is me kicking him and then grabbing Lewis. That's all I remember. After that, I remember us getting, the adrenaline was pumping so fucking much that night that I remember I got to the front of my house, I got into the house, I went into the room and I went to bed. That's what I remember what happened after that. Everything else is like, I got bruises in my eye, I'm in pain, I think I fractured a couple of fucking ribs. It was horrible. I'm in the house and I say, I'm staying in for the rest of the weekend. I get in there and I stay past the weekend. That was my zone there because I'm in pain. I come back outside. Lewis is outside talking to his cousin. And I go to Lewis and Lewis is like, yo, what happened? Yo, I called your house so many times. Your mom told me that you were in the room. What happened? You okay? And I was like, bro, I don't know what the fuck happened the other night, but it seems like something's going the fuck on, and you not telling me. Mind you, this is like, I know everything about this dude at this point, and he knows everything about me. So I'm like, something's going on, bro, and it's just like, let me know, like, what the hell's happened? Like, what the fuck was that the other night? And then he was just like, nah, there was just some fucking issue, whatever, whatever. It was over some girl. And that's how he just brushed it off. Oh, it was just over some girl shit. It wasn't nothing. I like girl shit. Like, though, like you're acting like you don't tell me everything. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? After fucking fighting and complaining with this dude for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, he comes back and he says, this is what happened. I was told by my cousin that there was a dude that lived in our block that lets kids our age sell. So I told this guy that I was gonna sell some shit for him. My mom found it and my mom threw it away and I was grounded and all this other shit and I ran from home and he was looking for me for the money and I didn't have the money to pay him. And I was like, what the fuck do you need money for? I literally was like, yo, are you dumb, bro? And he was just like, yo, I got to get out of the situation. After talking to him and everything like that, there was issues in his home that was out of his control, and he was dealing with a lot that I didn't see when I was over there. So it was more of an internal type of situation he was dealing with. So I said, you my mans, I got you, and you do what you got to do, and just be safe with the shit. And that's how I ended that. I started going to high school. Years passed by. We lost touch. Like he thought it was going to happen. And then the last thing that I known is that he was taken away from us in prison. Something happened to him in prison and he was taken away. So that was the ending of that story. And sometimes I feel like, if I would have pushed it a little bit more with him, he would have not ended up doing more and getting really deep into that life and not knowing how to get out of it. And I was thinking about, like, from that point on, that's where my view changed a little bit on everything. And I started doing my stupid shit. I started going to the streets, like right around that area when I found out that he was doing it and he was like making money and he was going in and out of prison. And when he was living that life and all that stuff, it kind of like, I was like, you know what, fuck it. And then I started doing it. Like, we've never met up after that. We never talked again. We never, after that jump that happened, it kind of separated us. He started distancing himself, and I started distancing myself, and we just started living our own lives. And then I ended up on that lane as well, but not in the way that he was doing it. Mine was more bulk than in a corner, nickel and diamond everybody. So like that's how he was running it. He was doing it how everybody else is doing it. I had some dude that helped me learn how to do it in bulk, where I could take less risk of being out there. So I listened to him because he's been doing it for a minute. But I always sit and think, like, if I were to do anything different, it would have been to really get it in his head that he doesn't need to do any of that. No matter what's going on at home, he knew that he had another home to go to. He knew that he could have came to my house and my mother and my father would have accepted him with no problem. He understood that. And if I could take it back, that's probably what I would have done. I would have probably just see it change. But it's tough. It is a tough thing to do. This one I didn't really want to talk about because it kind of brings all that feeling back. But this is what this channel is about. So it is what it is. I love you guys. That was a story of my best friend, Lewis. I appreciate you guys. I love all of you. And I'm going to talk to you guys later. Rest in peace, Lewis. I love you guys. Peace.
I got a bad feeling about this.
They say Larry is a vibe, like my nigga Ray. I be cool and I get high. I roll bigger J.